Which she said, at this point, what difference does it make? Well, the report is pretty scathing. Pretty scathing on Hillary Clinton, on the Obama administration. Yet, remarkably, when you look at the press, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, here's CNN. You know what CNN's headline about this report is? Quote, no new bombshell. New bombshell. They treat it as though, there's really nothing new here. No new bombshell. Here's what I want you folks to remember, okay? No one's claiming there's a, quote, new bombshell. For the last 4 years, 3.5 years, we have already known what the massive bombshells are that have come out about this. That Christopher Stevens was begging for more security and wasn't getting it. Hillary Clinton's State Department was not providing the additional security that he repeatedly begged for. And you know all the Democrats could say about this? Well, the report, the investigation shows that Hillary Clinton did not herself personally order that no additional security be given. Oh, does the buck not stop with her? She was a Secretary of State. This was her department. Just because one of her underlings made the decision, we don't know that that decision didn't come from her in the first place. She just didn't directly give the order to say no more security. But certainly she indirectly gave that order. It's her decision ultimately as the Secretary of State. But we've known about that already. We've known about the cover-ups. We've known about the lying. Hillary Clinton lying to the family members of the 4 that were killed, telling the family members that this was not a terrorist attack. It was a protest that got out of hand, a spontaneous protest from a YouTube video, which we now know is a scam. That wasn't what happened. We've known that already. And that the family members went on TV and said in interviews, Hillary Clinton lied to us. She told us this was because of a YouTube video when she knew full well it wasn't a YouTube video. She knew full well it was a terrorist attack. And it's already been revealed and uncovered that she told members of her own family that, and that she told other foreign leaders that before she went on TV talking about how it was from a YouTube video. She lied to the family members. Now, some of you might be like, well, what would be the purpose of lying? I can tell you what the purpose of lying was, folks. The Obama administration and Hillary Clinton and that entire administration, they did not want the embarrassment of having a terrorist attack happen on their watch. It makes them look bad if a terrorist attack happened on their watch. Makes them look bad, especially with Hillary Clinton when Christopher Stevens was begging for more security. Oh, you don't need more security. And then sure enough, he was a victim of a terrorist attack. So to cover their tracks, it makes them look better to say, it wasn't a terrorist attack. It was just, we'll blame it on some guy in California who made a YouTube video that was insulting Muhammad. And we'll say that that YouTube video caused some anger and some protest to get out of hand, and that's what happened there. It makes the administration look better. Makes them look worse if a terrorist attack happened on their watch. So they denied it was a terrorist attack and tried to blame it on some YouTube video, even though there was no evidence whatsoever of any protests going on. And that's what this report and the investigation reveals. So Hillary Clinton lied to people on TV. The administration, through Susan Rice, lied to people on TV. Hillary Clinton lied directly to the family members of the people who died. And then when those family members went on TV most recently, earlier this year, and said Hillary Clinton lied to us and told us it was a YouTube video, Hillary Clinton claimed they are the ones who lying. I never told them any such thing. Okay, so folks, these family members who don't know each other, who just coincidentally happened to be corroborating each other's stories, they all got together and they said, hey, let's come up with a lie and accuse Hillary Clinton of falsely telling us it was a YouTube video. So Hillary Clinton, adding to their pain, accuses them of being liars, the family members of being liars. When, come on, folks, you know full well it was Hillary Clinton lying about this and not these grieving family members. Anyway, so I look at this report, and let me just read you a little bit of what Fox News says on this. You know, I mean, at least Fox News is willing to report the truth about this report. But here's what I want you to remember, folks, as I share this with you. The mainstream media, they're mostly liberal. The Democrats in Congress, they don't like this report. The Democrats in Congress are trying to claim, oh, this is just a partisan attack. This is just Republicans trying to, using dirty politics to try to smear Hillary Clinton and make her look bad. Well, what do you do if Hillary Clinton really did do bad stuff? What if she really was the Secretary of State? What if her Secretary of State department really did refuse additional security? What if Hillary Clinton really did lie to these family members? What if Hillary Clinton really did go on TV and blame a YouTube video? What if Hillary Clinton was part of this cover-up of deceiving America? What if Hillary Clinton really did these things? Here's the problem, folks. There's no what if to this. It's on camera. You can see her saying these things. There's no what if, okay? There's no what if Hillary Clinton really was the Secretary of State. She really was the Secretary of State. There's no what if extra security was denied. It really was denied. This is all public information, folks. So how is this just a dirty politics smear effort on the part of Republicans? If Hillary Clinton really is guilty of these things, doesn't Congress, both sides, Republicans and Democrats, don't they have a responsibility to get to the bottom of it and issue an honest report of here's what actually happened? Why is that somehow wrong? So if it's a Democrat who does something wrong, then the right thing to do is, well, let's just not report on it. Let's just not talk about it. Let's sweep it under the rug because, after all, it's liable to look partisan. Okay, well, does it go the other way then? Was it wrong to investigate Richard Nixon? Was that wrong to do? Because, well, you're Democrats, and here's a Republican, and Democrats control Congress, and so therefore it doesn't matter what any president or any Secretary of State or any administration does wrong. No scandals matter because the opposing party in Congress can just be accused of playing dirty politics, right? So then no scandal should matter. There should be zero scandals ever investigated then, ever, on either side. Is that how we want it, folks? People died. How is that not worthy of an investigation? Anyway, Fox News, they say, quote, report authored by the Republican-led House committee probing the Benghazi terror attack faulted the Obama administration for a range of missteps before, during, and after the fatal 2012 attacks, saying top administration officials huddled to craft their public response while military assets waited hours to deploy in Libya. Now, that was another one. Took hours, over 10 hours, for any military assets in the area that could have gone and assisted to take action. Why? The report released Tuesday pointedly blamed a rusty bureaucratic process for the slow-moving response the night of the attack. The report said one anti-terrorist security team known as FAST Unit sat waiting for 3 hours in Spain as Marines changed in and out of their uniforms 4 times, even debating whether they should carry personal weapons, according to one witness. Altogether, it would take nearly 18 hours for the team to move. The report described a web of internal debates and holdups, including apparent State Department guidance that, quote, Libya must agree to any deployment, even though Leon Panetta would later say that Libya approval was not necessary. While various officials debated how to proceed, U.S. personnel were under attack at 2 sites in Benghazi. In the end, U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens and 3 other Americans were killed in the attacks. The committee's work was fiercely contested by Democrats, accusing Republican members of trying to politically harm Hillary Clinton. Chairman Trey Gowdy, Republican, asked the American public to, quote, read this report for themselves and reach their own conclusions. The Fox News story goes on. The findings in the report about the military asset response the night of the attacks contrasted with relatively robust internal debates over the public narrative regarding the attack, namely claiming the attacks were sparked by an anti-Islam YouTube video. The committee report identified for the first time a White House meeting that was convened roughly 3 hours into the attack and included deputies to senior cabinet members and Clinton. Now, here's what's scary about this, folks. This report goes on to show that There were absolutely no evidences whatsoever of any kind of protesting going on from any YouTube video. One U.S. agent at the American outpost in Benghazi told the committee, testified under oath, that right before the attacks, he heard chanting and then immediately explosions and gunfire, and then roughly 70 people rushed into the compound with an assortment of AK-47s, machine guns, grenades, RPGs, that this was, in fact, a systematic terrorist attack. In addition, a senior watch officer described the attack as, quote, a full-on attack against our compound, end quote. This person was asked under oath, did you hear any kind of protests prior to the attacks? The officer replied, quote, nothing, zip, nada. None of the information coming directly from the agents on the ground in Benghazi during the attacks mentioned anything about a video or a protest. The first-hand accounts made their way to the office of the secretary through multiple channels quickly. Now, here's what I want everybody to understand about this, and this is what's so significant. What this investigative report has shown is that the State Department, the Pentagon, the Obama administration, they were receiving reports on the ground immediately that we are under attack, this is a systematic attack, and that there were absolutely no mentions whatsoever of any protests or any anger from a YouTube video or anything like that at all. So, in the administration, here's what this report also details, that in the Obama administration, they were all sitting around just 3 hours into the attacks. Now, the attacks lasted 7 hours, folks, so the attacks were still going on. Still going on. These people are being killed and attacked, American citizens. Our military personnel are nearby enough that they can engage, but they have not been ordered to be engaged. So far, the cavalry is sitting on the sidelines, not rushing into the defense, not rushing into any of that at all. So while this attack is going on, and our military is standing by and not going in to help, the Obama administration internal team, just 3 hours into the 7-hour attack, was discussing the public relations explanation of this and started talking about the idea of YouTube videos. They started coming up with the idea of maybe we can blame this on a YouTube video and protests getting out of hand, even though there was zero evidence coming forward or presented at the time of any kind of protests. So they came up with that idea. In other words, they were working on their story. The administration was working on their story, their non-terrorist attack story, trying to craft some kind of okay, here's our story. Some kind of something like that, 3 hours into the 7-hour attacks while the military was still not being deployed. And CNN reports this as, well, there's nothing really here. This is just partisan attacks. Democrats are going, oh, these are just Republicans in partisan attacks just trying to make Hillary Clinton look bad, just trying to make Barack Obama look bad. Yeah, okay, guess what? The actual facts of how they conducted themselves, that's what makes them look bad. Yet I want to remind everybody, when they knew instantly this was a terrorist attack. 5 days later, President Obama's UN ambassador, Susan Rice, was ordered by the administration to go on every national Sunday morning talk show and repeatedly state the same thing. This was not a terrorist attack. This was a spontaneous protest from a YouTube video. When the administration knew full well that wasn't it. When Hillary Clinton knew full well that wasn't it. And then Hillary Clinton went on television and said the same thing. And she should be the next commander-in-chief? And Democrats are just going to dismiss this as, oh, it's just partisan attacks. Well, then I guess there's no such thing as any kind of investigation into anything ever in the future for any president, because no matter what it is, no matter what any president does, you can just automatically say it's partisan attacks. Whatever any presidential candidate who had a position of authority did doesn't matter. You can just write it off as partisan attacks. You're listening to The Bob Duplo Show.